Let's get started. This is extremely dangerous and should never be attempted in real life. Prolonged standing without adequate rest can lead to blood clots, permanent nerve damage, and cardiovascular complications. This video is purely educational. Today, we're exploring one of the most grueling challenges imaginable. What happens if you refuse to sit down for 21 straight days? You can lie down to sleep, walk around, and lean against things, but your body never gets to experience that simple relief of sitting. No chairs, no couches, no squatting down, no perching on ledges. For 3 weeks, you're either standing upright or lying horizontal. Let's discover why this seemingly simple restriction becomes a nightmare for your body. Understanding why your body needs to sit. Before we put your legs through 3 weeks of torture, you need to understand what sitting actually accomplishes for your body. Humans evolved as dynamic creatures, designed to alternate between movement and rest in various positions. Sitting isn't just comfort. It's a biological necessity that serves multiple critical functions for your cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, and nervous systems. When you stand, your heart must pump blood against gravity to reach your brain, while simultaneously fighting to return blood from your lower extremities back up to your chest. This process relies heavily on what's called the skeletal muscle pump. When you walk, your leg muscles contract and squeeze the veins, forcing blood upward through one-way valves. But when you're simply standing still, this pump mechanism is largely inactive, leaving your cardiovascular system to battle gravity alone. Your spine experiences constant compression when upright, as your intervertebral discs bear the full weight of your upper body. These discs are like sponges that need positional changes to absorb nutrients and expel waste products through a process called imbibition. Without the relief that sitting provides, these discs remain under relentless pressure, unable to properly maintain themselves. Your leg veins contain delicate one-way valves designed to prevent blood from flowing backward due to gravity. These valves work optimally when you're moving or when your legs are elevated, but prolonged standing places them under tremendous stress. The muscles in your legs, particularly your calves and the postural muscles along your spine, must work continuously to keep you upright, burning energy and accumulating metabolic waste products without adequate recovery time. Within the first few hours of continuous standing, your body begins making subtle adjustments that you might not immediately notice. Your heart rate increases by approximately 10-15 beats per minute compared to sitting, and your metabolism ticks upward as your postural muscles work to maintain balance. Blood starts pooling in your lower extremities as gravity pulls it downward, and your leg veins begin to distend slightly under the increased pressure. By the 2-hour mark, you'll definitely feel the difference. Your feet start to ache as the constant pressure compresses the fat pads on your soles, and you might notice the beginning of swelling in your ankles as fluid accumulates in your lower legs. This swelling, called peripheral edema, occurs because the venous valves in your legs are working overtime without the assistance of movement or the relief of elevation. Your lower back begins to feel stiff and uncomfortable as your spinal erector muscles work continuously to maintain your upright posture. Around the 4-hour point, most people would naturally seek relief by sitting. But since that's not an option in this experiment, your body has no choice but to continue adapting. Your brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to help you cope with the sustained physical demand. And you might notice increased irritability or difficulty concentrating as mental fatigue sets in alongside physical discomfort. By the end of day 1, after standing for approximately 16 to 18 waking hours straight, your body is sending urgent distress signals. The swelling in your feet and ankles has become pronounced and visibly noticeable, with your shoes feeling uncomfortably tight. Your feet might have increased by half a shoe size or more due to fluid accumulation. The pain in your lower back has evolved from a dull ache to sharp, stabbing sensations as your spinal muscles enter a state of chronic fatigue. Your knees feel unstable and might even tremble slightly as the muscles that stabilize these joints become exhausted. The venous pressure in your legs has increased significantly, and you're in the early stages of what medical professionals call chronic venous insufficiency. Sleep becomes a major challenge because even lying down, your legs throb with a deep, uncomfortable ache as blood rushes back into tissues that have been deprived of optimal circulation. You might experience restless leg syndrome, an overwhelming urge to move your legs that makes falling asleep nearly impossible. When you finally do sleep, it's fitful and unrefreshing, because your body is trying to repair damage while preparing for another round of punishment. The psychological effects intensify dramatically. Your thoughts become increasingly obsessed with sitting, and you might find yourself fantasizing about chairs with the same intensity that a hungry person dreams of food. This mental fixation isn't weakness. It's your brain's survival mechanism trying to convince you to stop this harmful behavior. Congratulations! If you somehow made it to day 5 without sitting. But here's what your body is going through. By day 3, the chronic inflammation in your legs has reached a critical level. Your feet and ankles are so swollen that pressing your finger into the tissue leaves an indentation that takes several seconds to bounce back, a condition called pitting edema. The veins in your legs have become visibly distended and rope-like as they struggle against the constant gravitational pressure. Your risk of developing blood clots, specifically deep vein thrombosis, has increased dramatically because blood that moves slowly and pools in one place has a much higher tendency to clot. If one of these clots breaks free and travels to your lungs, it could cause a pulmonary embolism, a potentially fatal condition. Your spine is experiencing serious problems by this point. The intervertebral discs in your lower back have been under constant compression for days without relief. These discs need positional changes to receive nutrients, and without this, they begin to degenerate, losing height and cushioning ability. You might have lost a quarter to half an inch of height temporarily as your discs compress. The pain in your back is now chronic and severe, possibly radiating down your legs as compressed discs press on nerve roots. Your feet are developing serious issues beyond just swelling. The constant pressure has caused breakdown of the fat pads on your heels and the balls of your feet, leading to a condition similar to what marathon runners experience, but worse because you've had no recovery time. By day 7, you're experiencing systemic effects throughout your entire body. Your blood pressure has become dysregulated as your cardiovascular system struggles to adapt to the constant demand. You might experience episodes of dizziness or near fainting as blood pressure drops when your exhausted system can't compensate quickly enough. Phase 4. Medium-term consequences. Weeks 1-4. Entering the danger zone at week 2, your body has moved beyond acute distress into chronic pathological changes. The venous insufficiency in your legs is now established, meaning the valves in your veins have been damaged by sustained pressure and may never fully recover their function. You're likely developing varicose veins, those bulging, twisted veins visible under the skin, which occur when vein walls weaken and valves fail. The skin on your lower legs is changing color, developing a brownish discoloration called hemosiderin staining, which happens when red blood cells leak out of damaged capillaries and break down in tissue. This discoloration can be permanent. Your musculoskeletal system is in crisis. The chronic inflammation in your joints has led to early-stage degenerative changes, particularly in your knees, hips, and lower spine. By week 3, visible changes are apparent to others. You're walking with a noticeable limp or altered gait pattern as your body tries to minimize pain. Your legs remain perpetually swollen, and you might have developed skin ulcers on your lower legs where poor circulation and tissue damage have created wounds that won't heal. These ulcers are serious medical concerns that can easily become infected. Psychologically, you're experiencing significant distress. The chronic pain and sleep deprivation have likely triggered or exacerbated depression and anxiety. Your cognitive function is impaired, with difficulties in concentration, memory, and decision-making becoming apparent in daily life. At the 2-month hypothetical mark, you're dealing with serious, potentially permanent health conditions. The chronic venous insufficiency has progressed to advanced stages, with significant vein damage throughout your lower extremities. Your cardiovascular system has undergone pathological changes, with your heart working overtime for months, potentially leading to cardiac complications. The damage to your spine is extensive and largely irreversible. Multiple intervertebral discs have degenerated significantly, with loss of disc height and possible herniation. The degenerative changes in your knee and hip joints have progressed to early osteoarthritis, with cartilage loss visible on medical imaging. Your feet have sustained permanent damage. The breakdown of fat pads means you've lost natural cushioning that protects bones during weight bearing, leading to chronic pain with every step. The skin changes on your lower legs are permanent, with significant scarring from healed ulcers. At the 21-day mark, you've reached a point where medical intervention isn't just recommended, It's absolutely necessary for survival. Your body has exhausted its compensatory mechanisms and is in a state of multi-system distress. The chronic inflammation throughout your body has reached pathological levels, affecting your cardiovascular system, immune function, and brain. Medical literature documents that prolonged forced standing has been used as torture, and the physical and psychological effects you're experiencing mirror those documented cases. Your risk of sudden cardiac events, including heart attack or stroke, is significantly elevated due to sustained cardiovascular stress combined with increased blood clotting tendency. When you finally allow yourself to sit after 21 days, the relief is immediate, but recovery is complex. In the first moments of sitting, blood flow changes dramatically, and you might experience dizziness as your cardiovascular system adjusts. The pain doesn't immediately disappear. It might initially intensify as blood flow increases to damaged tissues. Over the first week of normal activity, acute swelling will gradually decrease, though some chronic swelling might persist for months. Physical therapy will be essential to restore normal muscle function, joint mobility, and gait patterns. The damage to your spine, particularly disc degeneration, is largely permanent, though symptoms can improve with proper treatment. Recovery timeline varies, but most temporary effects resolve within weeks to months, while structural damage to veins, joints, and spine may result in lasting complications requiring ongoing medical management. Real-world context. While this extreme experiment is hypothetical, prolonged occupational standing affects millions of workers daily. Studies show that retail workers, surgeons, and factory employees who stand for extended periods have increased risks of cardiovascular disease, chronic back pain, and venous insufficiency. Historical cases of forced standing as torture demonstrate the serious medical consequences, with documented permanent disabilities resulting from days to weeks of enforced standing. Research clearly shows that the human body needs variety in posture throughout the day. The ideal pattern involves regular transitions between sitting, standing, and walking, with no single position maintained for extended periods. This is why ergonomic recommendations emphasize movement and position changes rather than static postures. Conclusion: the human body's need to sit isn't laziness. It's a fundamental biological requirement that allows your cardiovascular system to recover, your spine to decompress, and your muscles to rest. This hypothetical 21-day experiment would result in serious, potentially permanent damage affecting multiple body systems from your feet to your heart to your brain. Never attempt to deprive your body of essential positions or movements for extended periods. Instead, appreciate the wisdom of your body's design and the signals it sends you. When you feel the urge to sit after standing, that's your body's intelligent self-care system at work. Honor that signal and maintain the variety of movement and rest that keeps you healthy and functional throughout your life. This is purely educational content meant to highlight the importance of balanced activity patterns. Your ability to sit, stand, walk, and lie down represents millions of years of evolutionary optimization. Respect it, and your body will thank you.